So please go ahead and get ready to give a warm welcome to learn about our transfer basics and support for dreamers. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Lorena Ochoa. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you all virtually, and thank you for being here to join us today. My name is Lorena Ochoa, and I'm one of the counselors at Victor Valley College. I work specifically with a set of different populations, which include our transfer students, our ESL students, along with our Ab540 students, also known as our Dreamers. So the first thing I'm going to touch upon is our transfer center services. So I'm going to share my screen because I want to show you what we do have. All right, so one of the things that most of us are into is our social media. So a lot of what we advertise is through our social media. And I want you to see here, we do have Twitter. So you're welcome. So by me sharing this, you're more than welcome to join us, follow us, like us, etc. So we have our Twitter page, VVC Transfer Center. And as you can see, we put a lot of the different events that are not only occurring at Victor Valley College, but events that are being put on by the community, private universities, out-of-state universities, Cal States, and UCs. So I'm trying to go to the page. So please follow us because we do provide a lot of the information, and that's where we capture a lot of our students. Along, we do have Instagram. So as you can see, we put information on the different workshops we host. Here, you'll see some pictures of some of the students who transferred. We weren't able to have an actual transfer celebration, in-person transfer celebration. So one of the things that we offer, in addition to some of the university workshops, is a transfer celebration. This year was a little different, but we still celebrated our students who transferred in the fall 2020. And we also hope to do that virtually again for fall 2021 because our students do work really hard in order to get to that point in their career, academic career. So as you can see here, we promote and provide workshops, not only on university admissions, but we also help you with Cal State applications. We also help you with UC applications. We encourage you or help you understand the processes in order to transfer to different universities. A lot of students may ask, well, when should I start this process? Or when should I begin? Is it too early to start as soon as I start VVC? Absolutely not. Any one of our counselors can help you begin the transfer process. The sooner you know when and where you might want to transfer. And again, you might be considering Cal State San Bernardino, you might be considering Cal Poly Pomona, you may be considering UCLA, San Francisco State. So the more that you're considering, the more we have to go over and the more we want you to be prepared, because every university, although there may be Cal States, UCs, and they may be sister campuses, they are different in their own, in what they're looking for in terms of admissions requirements. So as you see here, we do offer transfer admissions workshops. And in addition to that, we do offer university rep appointments. So this is where students come, or at least now virtually, they actually meet with a representative from a university where you have that one-on-one interaction. And you can ask them questions. You can ask them questions, and they will look at your transcripts, especially if you went to multiple colleges. They will tell you if you're on point and if you're on track and if you're meeting GPA and major prep requirements. As a student who's thinking about transferring or considering transferring, anything that you might remember today would be these three things. GPA is important. Your major prep, what I mean by major prep is the classes you take for your major can be critical, especially if you're in the sciences or in the STEM field. And your general education classes are important too. For some universities, they will ask you, so if you're thinking about a private university or a University of California, they will ask you, have you been involved on your campus? Have you been involved in your community? Are you a leader? Have you gotten scholarships? Are you part of a program like EOP, S? So those are some things to consider. And some applications may request letters of recommendation. And I say this now because one struggle that I have found that students have had is when they're asked for letters of recommendation because they want to apply for a program, whether it be a program or a scholarship, is who do I ask? Or I don't know anyone. And networking is key, especially if you're trying to go to university that requests letters of recommendation. So now, or at this beginning of your journey at Victor Valley College, or wherever you end up with, networking is key. Getting to know people, faculty, counselors, supervisors, etc., to help you during this transfer journey. So again, get to know your counselors, get to know your faculty, or get to know anybody at Victor Valley College that can really speak on your behalf and the hard work that you are doing. So again, the Transfer Center provides workshops on how to transfer, application workshops. We also provide university fairs, usually in person, but right now everything will be held virtually. You might ask, well, what campuses come to our university or to our community college? Some of the campuses that speak to our students, and this is not a complete list, but Grand Canyon University, which is in Phoenix, Arizona, San Bernardino, Cal State San Bernardino, UC Santa Barbara, UC Irvine, UCLA, Cal Poly Pomona. Those are some of them. Arizona State University, University of Laverne, Azusa Pacific University. So, and if you're asking yourself, you're like, where are these campuses, or what are the requirements? Please meet with a counselor. We can always help you do the research in order so you are informed in making your decisions. Of course, also universities have different costs, so we can go over that too. However, we do recommend that you meet with somebody who's specialized in financial aid to go over that a little bit in more detail. So those are some of the services that the Transfer Center provides: our workshops, university fair, counseling appointments, university rep appointments, and our end of year transfer celebration. And we also have transfer agreements. So we have some transfer agreements to Cal States and our TAG program to UCs. And again, these transfer agreements and the TAG program, transfer admission guarantee programs, are across the board, every community college. They're not specific to Victor Valley College. So I know a lot of our students attend Victor Valley College, but they also attend Barstow College, or they also attend Chapey. And right now in the virtual world, you can attend any community college in the state virtually. So make sure, that you ask your counselor, does my major have a TAG program? Do I meet the requirements? So again, GPA. Students, what crushes me sometimes, or what makes me happy, is when a student is raising their GPA, but what crushes me is when a student maybe is at a cuff of a GPA. And because again, everything affects them. So again, as you start your journey, semester 1, semester 2, we tell you, do as best as you can, especially your final year. A lot of times, I'm sure in high school, you heard about senioritis, where we're kind of like, we're done. We're ready to be out of high school. And I tell students, no VVC-itis in your final semester or your final year, because every single grade counts. So I know you guys are all great students. And again, if you want to be in the know, we even have Facebook. I know some of you guys are probably now not in the Facebook world, but maybe your parents are, so they probably told you about it. So make sure to follow us on Facebook, and we do have updates, and we do have, we try to promote as much as possible because we get information left and right. So follow us on Facebook. And the final thing, the final social media platform I wanted to show you, or one of them, is Remind. So you can opt in, Remind, and I'll put it in the chat actually, what you can text. So we put different workshops on Loma Linda as well. We had our Historically Black Colleges and Universities workshops last week that the state was hosting. Azusa Pacific University had their one-stop admissions day. So as you can see here, we have a variety. We try to be pretty diversified in what we share with you, because we know it's important. And coming up, maybe you want to go to medical school, maybe you want to, you're thinking about a career in medicine. So a lot of these workshops, they are free to our students, and you just have to sign up. And now with everything being virtual, it's a lot more accessible. So I'll go ahead and stop. And again, and I want to also share our email address. Our email address is transfer@vvc.edu. transfer@vvc.edu. And if you do want to make an appointment, you're welcome to call the main line, the main VVC line, and our extension is 2139, and or email us at transfer@vvc.edu. So either way, one of us will get to you and respond to your questions or appointment needs. I'm going to go ahead and transition over to AB540 or True for Our Dreamers. Some of you may know about our AB540 program. Some of you may not be familiar with it, but a lot of you may be asking, well, what's AB540? What is she talking about? What's a dreamer? AB540 dreamers are our students who are undocumented, who were born in another country and perhaps came to this country, came to the United States as children, or even as middle school age or somewhere in their teens. So AB540 allows students to attend a California community college, a Cal State University, a UC, as a California resident if you meet certain requirements. The requirements that are necessary in order to participate or to be eligible as AB540 is you have to have attended a California high school for 3 years. California high school for 3 years. You have had to graduate or gotten your GED, or now GED is called a high school equivalency. So your diploma will show differently, but again, high school diploma or GED or high school equivalency. And you do have to submit what's called, as you see here, an AB540 California non-resident exemption request, which is really easy to do. And if you have trouble with it, one of our counselors or I can help you complete the form. So again, AB540 is for our undocumented students that want to go to college. And if you are thinking, well, I want to transfer to a university, those are the same requirements. We do help our students transfer to university, whether you're a citizen, resident, or undocumented student. We treat you and we want your goals to become a reality just the same as anybody else. And they can happen. We've had some of our AB540 students, our dreamers, transfer to UCLA, to Cal State San Bernardino, to Cal State Long Beach. So the list is endless. And this is throughout the state. So if you are an AB540 student or a dreamer, or you know somebody, again, this information is to not only give you knowledge for yourself, but if you have somebody in your community, your neighbor, a sibling, a cousin that is a little fearful or unsure if they can go to college, please send them over our way to get some information and to not be scared, because again, we don't want your dreams, your academic dreams to be tempered because you feel that you can't go to college. So with that being said, know that myself, Lorena Ochoa, we also have Lilia Franco, and we also have some of our financial aid specialists who can help because there is financial aid available for our dreamers. So again, the DREAM Act application, if you do identify or know somebody who identifies as a dreamer, the deadline for the DREAM Act application is March 2nd. So it's a very, very strict deadline. The Financial Aid Office at Victor Valley College offers workshops and offers assistance to help you with this very strict deadline. So make sure to connect with one of us. Here you'll see some of the contact individuals that you can connect with by email or phone. So we have myself and Lillian counseling, financial aid, we have Giselle Morales, and admissions and records, we have Sylvia Avila. We also have a series of resources that can help you, if you need immigration help, DACA help, etc. And finally, we do have, in 2 weeks, I'm speaking on behalf of our financial aid office as well. In a couple of weeks, we will be having the Dreamers Awareness Day, where we'll be having information on financial aid and scholarships, something similar to this, academic and student support services, community resources, and we'll be having the organization, it's located in Paris actually, TODIC Legal Center, who will be talking about updates on immigration, DACA, and any new updates from the new administration. So you are welcome to attend. It's Wednesday, February 24th from 4 to 6, and you're welcome to register by clicking here. Oops, never mind, you don't register, sorry, you just join actually, so you don't need to register. You just join and you don't even need to register. So again, go ahead and join us. Go ahead and contact myself, lorena.ochoa@vvc.edu. And again, I help also general students, transfer students, and our dreamers, and ESL students. And ESL is English as a second language. So if you know anybody, I'm one of the counselors for ESL who's looking to improve their English, who wants to improve their speaking, reading, writing, please have them connect with us so we can help them take some of our ESL classes, because we do have free classes as well. So we have both non-credit, which are free, and credit, which are cost. So make sure to touch base with me if you have any questions, and hopefully in a short few minutes, you guys got to capture a lot of information. So I'm open. If there are any questions, I'm open for questions. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ms. Ochoa. Let me ask you, while we have you, have you noticed a trend? Is there a trend of specific universities or 4 years that a lot of BBC students are able to get into and transfer with more ease?
It has become a little bit more challenging because of some of the GPA standards. However, the ones that in theory are more easier are usually Cal State San Bernardino is one of the quote unquote easier colleges to get into because it is our local Cal State campus. So what that means is they give priority to VBC students. However, this doesn't apply to every major. So if you said, well, I'm a nursing major, or I'm a social work major, or I'm a kinesiology major, those have additional requirements and additional GPA standards than maybe if you were a history major or an English major, because some of those majors are more competitive. So again, that's a good question, but it can depend on your major. But Cal State San Bernardino, I would say, would be one of the more most of our students transfer to Cal State San Bernardino. The top 3 schools that students transfer to in the Cal State system from Victor Valley College are number 1, Cal State San Bernardino. The second most is Cal Poly Pomona. And the third one, there's usually, sometimes it wavers. It could be Cal State Fullerton or Cal State LA. For UCs students, not to say that people transfer there because it's easier, but only because it's closer to home, is UC Riverside. But again, your major can really dictate if you get in because some majors are impacted or what they call selective. And we do have some universities in the high desert, such as Azusa Pacific University, University of Laverne, Park University, Brandman, and they do some of their requirements are not as stringent. So and people want to stay local to the high desert. They do have a limited number of majors, so you really want to talk to those representatives to ensure that they offer the major that you want. And we do have a list on our website, on our transfer center website as well, which is pretty easy, vbc.edu just /transfer. And or again, you can meet with a counselor and we can go over that as well. But those are some of the universities that our students transfer to. But again, we've had students transfer to San Francisco State. 1 year we had 3-4 students transfer to the Bay Area. So if you're open, the sky's the limit. If you do your major prep, if you have a high GPA and you may be involved, especially for the UCs, and you have good letters of rec for those who may ask for it, the sky's the limit, really.
Actually, you mentioned something very interesting at the end there. You said as long as they're involved. So what recommendations can you give to students about what kinds of things or activities they should be involved with that would really bode well for them to transfer to a 4-year?
Absolutely, yes. Get involved in a club organization through the ASB program. I believe they have a list of active clubs and organizations. If you can also be like part of their e-board meaning like there be a president, secretary, a treasurer, that can be helpful. You can also be part of your community. Like if you're in theater, be part of your community theater or give back to your local community, like a homeless shelter, Boys and Girls Club, women's shelter. So anything that you're a hospital, clinic, anywhere that you're showing that you're giving back to the community, because some universities are very about service and about volunteering and about giving back. So that looks good on you. And of course, some universities, especially UCs, because they ask for this, and some privates do as well, they do work. Sometimes you may have to go part-time, but you can also state if you did work, because that's also shows that you're not only able to be a student, but you're able to work and you're able to manage both while you're trying to make your, and it's not easy while you're trying to make your academic goals, a reality. So those are some of the, even a day beach cleanup. I tell students, do a day beach cleanup, do something that you're going beyond the academics, because many universities, and even just in my opinion, just as a human being, you want to have a holistic, it's not just about, okay, there's a lot of students who are 4.0s. There's a lot of students who are 3.7s.
Right.
But what makes you stand out? What makes you stand out beyond being a biology major with a 3.7 GPA and attended 2 community colleges. There can be a lot of people who have that same picture, but what makes you stand out is what you do above and beyond that.
That's a great point. And, you know, something that I've noticed with scholarships is I think that our most meaningful and effective letters of recommendation have actually come from a student's volunteer organization or from an employer or a coworker. Those have seemed to be the ones that have really carried the most weight.
Absolutely. And get to know people, get to know people, because again, those letters of rec, including with the scholarship application, you don't want that to be the deterrent or the reason why you're not applying. So sometimes I've told students, even if I know you a little bit, you know, if you need at least one letter, like I'll be happy to write one for you, because you can be eligible. But again, networking, getting to know people, especially as you transfer, as you get your degrees, is a big, is so important in you landing that job. So
most definitely. We do have a question that's come through the Q&A. It says, so do colleges technically specialize in one area, and would it be best to look at a college that focuses in my particular major? So can you talk about, for students who aren't familiar with kind of a university setup, kind of how it works and having the different colleges within there and majors?
Yeah, so one of the things that that you want to look at, so let's say your major is chemistry. So what we recommend to students is, or let's say your major is nursing, I'll give you this real life example. So I had a student say, I want to transfer to UC Riverside and I want to go as a nursing major. And the first thing I told the student is UC Riverside does not offer a nursing program. So you want to really research who has your program or who has the major that you want. And some universities have sub-disciplines. So let's say you want to be a chemistry major, and some have general chemistry, some have biochemistry as an option, some have organic chemistry, some have molecular and cell type of chemistry. So you do want to look at the different disciplines from that university, because that's a discipline that you may enjoy or that you may want to pursue. And a lot of times I recommend students also look at the website and look at what their faculty do, because a lot of times, especially with many universities, the faculty do research. So you may be interested in a specific subject, and you may have a liking to a specific faculty or series of faculty that are doing research or study something that you may be interested in. So research that as well. Because most universities, they're going to be strong, but their different strengths may lie in different areas. So definitely do the research as to, one, do they offer my major? What are some sub-disciplines that they offer? But also within that department, do they also offer any research opportunities or internship opportunities for me to get involved? Because as I was talking to my friend the other day, he actually works in aerospace engineering. And he said, you can graduate from Pomona in engineering, you can graduate from, you know, anywhere, but if you don't have the experience in internship or volunteer, it's going to be very hard. And he said, we've had students, because he works in aerospace engineering, from MIT. We've had students from Caltech, and although they look great on paper and they have amazing GPAs, what also makes you stand out is your experience. So also find out what kind of internships, some people call them practicums, that your university offers. And also if you're going to be comfortable at that university, do you like the vibe? So we also, that's the one thing I did not mention, we also offer university campus tours in a non-quarantine world. So we do have on our VVC website transfer, there's many of the universities have virtual campus tours. So we encourage you also to meet or to go to the campus to feel if that's the vibe, or if you feel comfortable, if you feel, you know, this is a place you want to be, and also to meet people, to ask questions, talk to students, and kind of get their perspective. Because at the end of the day, it's kind of really getting your feet wet, doing that research, that's really going to help make a determination if the major that they offer, you know, is what you want. So for example, psychology is a huge major with our students, psychology, sociology, business. Some universities like Cal State San Bernardino has just a general psych program, but they also have a biological psychology program. Maybe that's the area that you want to focus on, the biology of psychology. Not all universities offer biological psychology. So maybe Cal State Long Beach doesn't, or San Diego doesn't. But if you really like biological psychology and you really like the classes, so you can also look at the curriculum. You can look at what are the classes that I'm going to take when I'm there, and is it something that that really attracts me to what I hope and plan to do. So look at the curriculum as well, and look at the subdisciplines that you may be able to pursue. And also you can double major. You know, a lot of students say, I want to major in history and psychology. If they offer, you want to look at that. Do they offer the option to double major or get a minor at the university? And students might be like, what's a minor? A minor is like a mini major. So you just take less classes. So some students want to get 2 degrees. And once you enter the university, you're more than welcome to, as long as they allow you. Because once you're at the university, you're at their house. So they have slightly different rules. But definitely look at what they have to offer and research. And again, meet with a counselor to make sure that you're looking at the right things when you're making those decisions. And the one final thing that I will say is, if you're able to consider more than one college or university to apply to, please do so, because there's no guarantee. There's no, depending on your major, there might not be a guarantee that you'll get into your school. One example, I had a student about 4 years ago apply as an electrical engineering major to 4 Cal States. And again, there's fee waivers you can apply for. The fee waivers are embedded in the applications. So there's no separate paper or separate thing you have to do, but there are fee waivers. So this student, he applied for 4 universities because he got the fee waiver. And I asked him, I said, are you gonna, and he had about a 3.3, 3.4 GPA. I'm like, are you gonna apply to other schools? No, I'm just gonna do the fee waivers. Unfortunately, that student did not get accepted to any of those 4 universities. He did not get accepted to those 4. We thought, of course, we hoped that he did. He did not. So he stayed, and you're more than welcome. He stayed at BBC for another semester and finished some classes that he had to finish. But this time, and I still remember, this time he applied to 7 universities. And even though he had to pay for the additional 3 because he got the fee waiver again, he said, you know, he said, I learned my lesson. I'm going to apply to more because, as you told me before, there is no guarantee. Again, for some majors like engineering, nursing, social work, biology, chemistry, there is no guarantee. So he applied and he got in to several universities a second time around, and he ended up going to Poly Pomona, and he did actually graduate. And the reason I know is because I saw him at the store in the high desert, and he shared with me his story. So I was really proud of him. But again, you want to consider more than one school, because even a lot of students used to think, oh, I'll get into Cal State San Bernardino, it's really easy. You know, maybe it was easy 5-10 years ago. I will say 10 years ago. That's not the case anymore. That's not the case anymore, even if you just live up the hill. So be mindful of that. And you may not want to go to Cal State San Bernardino. Remember, that's one school out of 23 Cal States. There's 9 UCs, and there's about 75 private universities in the state of California, and that doesn't include the rest of the United States. Thank you.
You're muted, Chris. Chris, you're muted. There you go.
Well, that would explain it. Sorry about that. Thank you. That's a great lesson and a great example to share. The simple fact that things don't always work out exactly as we plan them the first time around. But not to be discouraged and to continue moving forward. And even if it doesn't work out, you can most definitely continue moving forward here at Victor Valley College until it's time. When would you recommend in a student's career here at VVC, when do you recommend that they should come and see you and start to look into and talk about a transfer university?
Today, now, as soon as possible. The sooner, the better. And again, any one of our counselors can speak to transfer. So as soon as they step foot or they're a student at Victor Valley College, we recommend that they, meet with one of us, speak. And again, when they step on foot on our campus, virtually or in real person, there's a possibility that they may change their mind. I may be a psychology major today, but I volunteered at, a women's shelter, and I really want to do sociology. So nice part about being at a community college is like there is no time limit. You know, you can be at VBC or any community college as long as you like. However, of course, we want you to move forward to your goals. At the university, it's not like that. Once you get to the university, what I tell students is the clock starts ticking. You're a junior. You transfer for most universities, you transfer as a junior. You can't be like, well, I think I want to do this, or I think, no, I'm a this major and I'm starting and I'm hitting the road running. So, but again, at Victor Valley College, as soon as you know, because you may change your major, and that is okay. If you do change your major, or if you want to add a major, there's no repercussion. Do it. Do what you want to do. This is the only time that you will be able to do it. Apply to multiple colleges. Think broadly, think high. If you apply to, I don't know, San Diego State University, and you're like, let me give it a try. I don't know if I'm going to go to San Diego, but hey, why not? But at least you tried it. I always tell students, would you want to apply, or would you want to say coulda, shoulda, woulda?
Right.
You know? And so, but now's the time, because, and again, if you change your mind, we change your plan and we change your curriculum and your courses, and we start a new road.
Sure.
But now.
Yeah, but now, that's right. Yeah, why wait and go down a road that you have to turn back around on? So Sarah, in the question and answer, I see your question. I think the best answer to that question regarding Cal Poly is make an appointment with a counselor. That way you can find out the specifics on the majors that they offer, and if it's going to be the right place for you to land as far as the university when you're done here at Victor Valley College. So make that appointment.
If I may add really quick, we do have a Cal Poly Pomona Rep. So if you wanted, so again, email us or email me at lorena.ochoa@bbc.edu, and I can actually connect you directly with the representative. We will be having a Cal Poly Pomona. So that's why I encourage you to follow us on social media, because we will be having a Cal Poly Pomona presentation or workshop in the middle of March. Along with, she'll be also providing one-on-one transfer appointments. So that's still being worked on, but she will be joining us in the middle of March to talk about the majors and to talk about selective majors and what you should do to start preparing to increase your chances of being a competitive applicant.
Wonderful, wonderful.